Previously on Wimp to Warrior.
Otherwise you're here, you're committed to 20 weeks training, that's it.
Richie and his team selected 32 wimps to train to fight in a cage. And in only 20 weeks.
15?
I don't know. I don't know anything about body fat or anything.
I've never stopped believing I can do this. It's everyone else is saying I can.
When this opportunity came up, I thought what a great opportunity to really prove myself. I figure that the training that I'm doing now, it's never going to get harder.
Keep going, mate, keep going.
It's week 9, and Coach Richie decides to give the wimps some variety. At McMahon's point, the wimps have the dubious honour of pushing Richie's car uphill. Not just once, or twice.
I could not believe it when you asked us to do that. Not just the first time, not just the second time, but the 5th time. I can't believe we pulled together and actually got it up there, to be honest. It was such hard work, outrageously so. I reckon he was pushing the brake there a little bit too.
Go.
To finish off,
Go.
a couple of sprints up the same hill.
Sit.
Tom is keen.
Oh, Tom. Come on, Tom. Go.
It's week 10, and so far 21 wimps remain with just 11 training weeks to go. Coming up to the break, there is a risk of the wimps losing that hard-won fitness. Rachel has some advice.
Guys, you completed your last 10 weeks of training. I'm really impressed with you. Chris and I know that you put the dedication and the work in to get to where you have today. So basically the past 10 weeks, if we just recap, we've been working on your mobility, we've been working on your strength, and we've been working on your commitment to this program. I know it's been mentally tough, and I know you guys made a lot of sacrifices to be here. What you've got to remember is that MMA is a tough sport. It's not just tough mentally, it's tough physically on your body as well. So for that reason, we've got to make sure that your stamina is built up and your endurance is built up in addition to your strength. Look, we're coming up to Christmas, you've got to keep this intensity up. So I want to see all of you guys in the gym, or at least out doing some form of conditioning at least 6 days a week. It means you have 1 day off.
It has been such an amazing experience over the past 10 weeks. Chris and I and Richie right from the start, I think all of the coaches, we knew that we had a fair bit of work on our hands. It was no easy feat to take somebody who has never trained before, to be able to build them and build their body tough enough so that they can withstand the training and withstand the demands of the cage and the demands of mixed martial arts. However, I have to say, we've all had such an incredible experience. The guys have been 110% committed. Those that haven't, unfortunately, haven't made it. So we're now left with the best of the best, and good luck for them, and look forward to seeing them in the cage.
With 2 more departures, Raj, dropped for bad attendance, and Kenny, out with an injury, the wimps have been matched up into fighting pairs.
They're all asking me and speculating. I can hear them talking, and a couple of guys have done their matchups, and I don't know if they're having little bets or whatever, doing a pool on it, but there's a couple of guys that have picked them, but I'm keeping Stum. I think most of the guys, I think Ben and Tom feel they're going to be fighting each other.
At a guess, I reckon I'd be matched against Tom.
I've pretty much got it set in my head that I'm fighting Warhammer, Ben Keating.
Probably the one I'd only be really worried about would be Francis.
As it happens, Ben will fight Francis.
Francis is something else. He's a big, strong guy. You know, used to play rugby.
I think it's going to be a great matchup for us both to be fighting and trading. He loves to strike. I love to strike.
Jed and Tom are matched up.
I think they're going to find it really hard because they're very tight.
That's a massive shock. Like, both me and Warhammer, Ben Keating, were just blown away by that announcement.
I think a couple of guys were a little bit shocked at a couple of the matchups. For instance, Richard and Carl.
Richard will fight Carl.
We share a flat, should make things rather interesting at home on the couch.
They've been best mates since they were like 8 or 9 years old, and they lived together. And I didn't really want to match them up.
I don't particularly want to fight my friend and housemate, and it'd be weird.
They're the same weight class, and they're very evenly matched.
We've been friends for a very long time as well, but I think it will be a really great match.
Jimmy and Adam are a surprise matchup.
Jimmy's 6'4", and I'm 5'4", so it's going to be really interesting. Didn't see it coming, actually.
Very shocked that I got Adam. It was quite funny. We were actually sitting next to each other when the announcements were made, and you could both tell we were just like...
Vaughan is matched with Sheldon.
That was a bit left field. A few people mentioned that to me.
Val, I know, weighs 55 kilos. Laura weighs 65, and I'm sitting here at 75. So if I'm going to be matched up with someone, it's definitely going to be Laura.
No surprise, but both girls will need to cut weight.
Because I don't see Sonia as much, I'm actually not sure where her game is, where her best features are in terms of the way that she plays the sport. So it does make it hard for me because I'm not really sure how I'm going to form my game plan yet.
Jack will fight Josiah.
Been told I'm going to be fighting Josiah, which was a surprise.
Absolutely shocked that it's Jack.
Me and Josiah are very similar. You know, we like to fight.
Ryan and Heath are matched up.
I was a bit disappointed that I used a lot of time working with him and rolling with him, so now he knows a lot of things that I've been working on.
Matt is matched with Tim.
Very strong-minded, and you know he's keen, and I'm keen. I think it's going to be a great fight. I don't think either of us are going to take a step backwards.
Danny fights Julian.
I was shocked. I think a lot of people were shocked. I feel very confident.
Valerie still has no opponent.
Now it's just a case of me trying to find someone. Over the next 10 weeks, we're going to be putting feelers out to fight gyms and trying to find someone suitable for her.
Breaking up into red and blue teams, opponents will no longer train together apart from some remaining conditioning work.
Matchups are a bit of an art in themselves, and although I'm kind of limited to what I've got, you know, normally with a matchup you'd look at 5 or 6 guys and match them up against another 5 or 6 guys, and you're looking for skill sets more than anything. As you know, obviously it's all about weight. You find the right weight category. With these guys, I only had, you know, 4 lightweights, I only had 2 middleweights, and so the matchups were kind of set for me. The matchups we've got now I think are good. There's going to be some exciting fights. Everyone wants to see an exciting fight. No one wants to see a dull fight. No one wants to see a standoff. So the guys I've got are very even. Some guys are a little bit keen on with the stand-up, some on the ground, and that's going to make a really good wrestling match. So the whole point from a matchup point of view is to make the most exciting fight possible.
Finally knowing their opponents, the Wimps set about completing their training and start their weight gain or cutting weight to make their weight class. It's week 11, halfway.
The guys have just come back from their Christmas break, and I have some concerns about some of the guys. I know that food issues were a big part of their life previously, and 10 weeks isn't enough to completely change their life, and to be away for a couple of weeks without the coaches looking over their shoulder, I'm worried that some of these guys have gone backwards a little bit. We've been through the strength conditioning phase. The guys are nice and strong and ready for the next phase, which is what this whole series is about. It's about the fight training. These guys now have got 10 weeks as a fight camp, and this is the whole preparation of what we've done previously. And we're going to get some amazing guest coaches coming in, guys that, you know, these guys have been looking up to, and myself have been looking up to for years. Guys that are legends in the sport. They're going to come down and train these guys and really inspire them to get through the next 10 weeks, which is going to suck at times. These guys are going to be really sore, and there's going to be bumps and bruises and injuries, and they just got to pick themselves up and get back in.
Richie calls in John Sharp to go through the rules and routines for fight night.
And then we're going to have a Q&A with my good friend, Mr. John Sharp over there, UFC ref. I've known Mr. Sharp for 5 years. Okay, become very good mates. He's offered his services to ref you guys on the night. So Q&A is your chance to talk to him and ask him questions, anything related to the night of the fight and the preparations and all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot on the actual night that's going to be very foreign to them. Having someone in the ring with them that's giving them commands, having judges watching them, having their hands taped, all these things that have never happened to them before properly.
1 hand and 2 feet on the ground. He's considered a grounded opponent. As soon as that hand comes away, 2 points. Anything other than the soles of your feet on the ground, you can cover their mouth. That's no problem, but make sure no fingers get the face. Most referees will warn you, you can't do this. You must come in from the sides, put an angle on it. Yeah. We have inspectors, so you know whatever's going on in that room is going on in your room, exactly the same. Your hands will all be wrapped exactly the same. Your gloves will all be exactly the same. Nobody will be treated any better or any worse. Everybody's treated the same. Every single time I walk into that cage and I look at both sides while the announcer's talking, I know somebody's going to walk out of there very disappointed. It's definitely not for everyone. Definitely not for everyone. And they'll know in the first couple of minutes whether it's for them or not. Like I said, the pace of training and the pace of a fight are two very different things. Mentally, try and relax. Okay, take your time. Don't rush into a stupid guillotine. Pick your shots. Have fun. Try and enjoy the experience.
I remember just him saying, relax and enjoy yourself. Take the moment in.
If you don't tap, I won't stop it until your arm goes pop. It's your responsibility to tap and tap clearly if you want that fight to end. There's a few different ways out of that cage. Okay, there's a referee stoppage, there's a verbal stoppage, there's a tap out, doctor stoppage, and your corner can throw in the towel. And if your corner does throw in the towel, make sure they throw it at the referee's head. Not behind us where we can't see it. Everyone is born with that little bit of inner warrior spirit, okay? But it only comes out in about 1% of us. That's what'll make the difference. If you're getting choked out, you're going to go to sleep unless you tap. I'll wait till you go to sleep, then I'll stop it straight away. If you scream out in pain, we could take that as a verbal submission also. Don't stop. The referee's there for a reason. He'll stop it. Unless you're like totally out off that one punch, okay? We'll know the difference. And our commands will be fight back, fight back, fight back, okay? We'll be telling you fight back, you might wear 1 or 2 more, that's it.
It's comforting to know that his main priority is to keep us, the 2 guys in the cage, as safe as possible.
If you're not trying to sweep, submit, pass, I'll say action, come on guys, work. Come on guys, work or I'll stand you up. If there's still no action, I'll go stop, up, push you out. Okay, I'm going to ask you to fight back, and if you don't listen to my commands and fight back, bump, do something to prove to me that you want to be there, I'll stop the fight. One thing I don't think about the crowd, I don't think about the promoter, I don't think about your cornerman. When I'm in there, it's about me and you 2 guys.
Any kind of doubts that you had about getting in there and getting your teeth smashed in or getting your nose spread across your face, like he kind of just put it in a way that I'm going to stop it before it gets to that point.
Yeah, it's very comforting knowing that there is a ref, especially someone as experienced as John Sharp, in the cage with us.
First looks were deceiving. He looked like he was the type of guy who wants to rip your head off. But when he speaks, he's very down to earth and very approachable.
And there's another person in the cage with you who's not going to be trying to punch you and who actually is going to be looking out for you.
That you've got a very experienced ref who knows what you can handle, what you can't handle, and when to stop a fight, and he's not going to jump the gun.
I think they're doing great. Yeah, I think Richie will take them all the way. Great coach, great bunch of guys. I think they're nervous, but equally as excited and looking forward to this.
In the continuing education of the Wimps in ringcraft, Richie brings in Mark Hunt.
Mark Hunt is someone that I've followed for a long time. He's a bit of a legend.
Coming to fame first as a kickboxer, he won the World K1 Grand Prix in 2001.
He's been a K1 champion, he fought in Pride, and most people in the sport are really nice, but he's a super nice guy. He's been following us and tweeting about us, and when I asked him to come down and do some training, he was like, yep, sure, no problem. No one knows that Mark's coming down to train him, so I'm looking forward to seeing their faces. It's Mark Hunt. He's an absolute legend in the sport of MMA.
This is my idol. He's my reason for getting into the sport of MMA, because I was originally a kickboxing fan and I followed his career and Ray Seffo's career, and everything K1 was me. And then once Mark transferred over to MMA through Pride FC, I followed his career and obviously started watching everyone else in MMA.
So let's get some work done here. We'll go over this way here.
Better than anyone, Mark can give a fighter's view.
So he's going here for the takedown, his head's here. Straight away, my feet, as you can see, my feet on this, are pointing this way. First thing I do is I turn to the side. When I first started mixed martial arts, I thought it was like, just get up. This is just, easy because I'm from a striking background, so me starting mixed martial arts, I'm like a baby anyway. You've got all his weight down there, you've got your weight down, pushing down on there. That hand goes to this one, keep pushing his head down and step out forward. Okay. Yeah, step out that way. I love fighting. I don't like training, but I love fighting. I love doing what I do. He could make you like grapple, and if your feet are like this, he can come here and like that. How I learned was I went to jiu-jitsu and I got beaten up all the time. Then I gained the respect for it. I was like a monster when I walked out. I was like, wow! When I walked out, I was like this. Felt like a little boy. Because I want to get this position, but I'm trying to put my shoulder into his chin, so he's like this way. I want him to look that way. Even if it's this way, I want him to look this way.
They'd know this guy and they've probably followed him, and to have someone like him on the mat with him and give him a few tips, it's really going to pump him up.
Becoming a warrior is hard work and requires dedication. But there are times for relaxation and celebration.
Since the start of Winter Warrior, we've had 2 weddings. Okay, we've had Mick, Coach Mick got married, Matt got married as well. We've had 2 babies. Adam had a little baby, and myself, we had our 3rd little baby. Life goes on outside of Winter Warrior doors, so it's been a journey for everyone.
How hard do you want it? How much do you want it? You say yours is the best. I say my stuff is the best. There's only one way to find out.
So what you want to do is you want to learn to hand fight from a fighting stance.
So thumb up jab, thumb over jab, right hand.
I knew there'd be at least one more dropout, and there's going to be a couple more, I know it. So what I've done now is, rather than bring someone else in, I'm going to change things up a little bit.